Welcome to the introduction training of Microsoft Excel 2016. So the objective of this training program is one, to become familiar with Microsoft Excel 2016, and second is this training program will also help you pursue the Microsoft Office Specialist Excel certification program. So it's called the MOS, Microsoft Office Specialist. That's the credential that you get when you take the exam. So let's start with the basics, right? So what is, if you're brand new to Excel and or even if you use Excel but you're not exactly familiar with what is the purpose of using Excel, let's talk a little bit about that, right? So what is Excel and why do we use it? So of all the Microsoft Office applications, Excel is more of a spreadsheet program, right? So the spreadsheet program helps us when we have data. Could be small amounts of data or could be in large quantities, right? So it helps us organize this data. And the most common thing you'll see about using Excel is rows and columns, right? So we're arranging this data in rows and columns. So the most common thing that you're going to see in these worksheets are tables. Now you can convert these tables with data into charts, right? Pie charts, graphs, or any other as well. So it pretty much organizes data in rows and columns, and it's very helpful for accounting use as well. It's also very helpful to track certain things and data. So let's look at this interface and discuss a few things. So another benefit of these training programs is it's a refresher. Even though we know a lot of things, these videos actually help us give us a refresher of what's what. And second is, even though we know a lot of things and where they are, we might not be familiar with the terminologies. So this is definitely a good chance for us to grasp those terminologies that we've already been familiar with. So starting from the very top, on the top left, this right here is called a quick access toolbar. So this is where all the shortcuts can be saved in one click. Basically all these options are also available using the toolbars, but typically you have to click on the tab and then go to the ribbon and then click that. So if there are certain things that you use very often, quick access toolbar is a good place where you can add shortcuts that you get within one click. So by default you're given three options: save, undo, and redo. But depending on your use, you can always customize what you want there to be. So like if you click on this arrow to the right, you can go to more commands, and this will give you a comprehensive list of all the features available that you can add as shortcuts. So anything you want, for example, let's say, what could be a good choice here? Let's say new file, right? So we want to add new file to that, and we added that, and here it is. So you can, depending on your use, anything that you use most frequently can be added to this quick access toolbar, and there you go, you're gonna get it in one click. And then right under that is the tabs. So we have different tabs: home, insert, page layout, formulas, data, review, and view. So we're going to talk in more detail about what each tab is, what are the different options in these tabs, and what can we do using these tabs. So these are called the tabs, and the toolbar under that is called the ribbon, right? So for example, this home would be the tab, and all these things is considered under a ribbon, okay? And the next thing is the file. So file is a little different from the other tabs. It focuses more on the document itself rather than the content. So this is also called the back view, and where you get to see different options. So you can see the information of the document, you can create new workbooks or worksheets, you can print it from here, you can convert it to PDFs as well, you can publish it online to even to cloud, or you can even check your account information, right? So these are different options. Even the spell check is actually available from here, okay? So we'll talk about those things in more details. And then at the very bottom here, this is called the status bar. So on the bottom left, you see the status of the document itself. Then as we move right, we see the different views available for the document. And the last thing, which is pretty useful in my opinion, is the zoom feature, right? So if you want to see like the overall table or something on a high level, you can pretty much zoom out, right? And then if you're concentrating on a specific part of the table or the data, you can always zoom in to see what it looks like or how you want to modify it, right? So the zoom definitely helps when you're managing different worksheets. But one thing I want you to keep in mind is the zoom is not dependent on your print, okay? So just because you see something zoomed on your screen doesn't mean it's going to print like that. It's a very important distinction between this and that, okay? So zoom pretty much is more like a display feature, what it looks like on your monitors, but it doesn't necessarily reflect on the paper when you print it. So anything you want to modify on the paper are print layouts, page layouts, and settings like that. So that is what I want to make sure everyone keeps in mind. One more feature about Excel is every cell has an address, right? So we talked about different rows, different columns, but also keep in mind that every cell has an address. So when you're looking at an empty worksheet, you may not see the value of that, but when you're dealing with a lot of data, it always helps to either use that as a reference or to verify that you're at the right cell, right? So this is the cell reference area, which is also called the name box of the identified cell. And then we also have the formula bar. So when we deal with formulas, you're going to see how on the cell you're going to see just the number, which is the result of that formula, but when you click on that in this formula bar, you're going to see the actual formula that's being implemented behind that result, right? So these things are very, very interesting, and we're going to cover all these in upcoming sessions. So this is just the brief introduction of Excel by its interface itself. So when we want to create new documents, for example, right? So the best way to do is go to File and create new, but also remember we added the shortcut just for testing purposes, but you can click that as well. So the right way to do it is go to File and click New, and now when you go to New, you see a bunch of options. So there's different ways when you create new worksheets, right? One, you can create a blank worksheet, right, which is usually the first option in all Microsoft applications. And that'll just open a regular table, and that you pretty much customize it and start from scratch. But if you're looking for some pre-made templates, which are actually very useful in Microsoft, when you click on the new, you're going to see all the templates they're offering. So these templates are saved in your Microsoft application itself and are free to use for you. So I wouldn't make this as the final version, but this is a good base for you to start. Let's say you want to do an invoice, or you want to create a calendar, or you want to create a financial statement, profit and loss statement, or even any sort of schedules, right? So these are the templates where you can use that's already pre-made by Microsoft. And then we also have the online templates available. So you can search for a specific online template using this search field. So we'll definitely do more practice assignments in the upcoming sessions and see how we can use existing templates and modify it according to our use. So this is just the brief introduction I want to cover on the Microsoft Excel, and we're going to talk in more details about each tab and each ribbon, and we're definitely going to do some formulas as well and see how we can make our lives easier using Excel for accounting purposes or any number or data related content. Thank you.